This is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
Hello and a warm welcome to Global Business. I am Penina Karibe. Let's begin with a look at the markets. The JSE closed lower today as investors awaited the U.S. Federal Reserve's interest rate decision that should be out within the hour. There's high expectation that the central bank will ease monetary policy amid concern of a slowdown in global economic growth. The JSE all-share fell 0.46% to 56,979.46 points. Coming up on the show tonight. Zimbabwe's central bank sees $3.3 million in its first public auction of treasury bills in nearly 7 years. The rising rate of joblessness in South Africa. And a Ghanaian entrepreneur rolls out hair salon services on the road. Our starting point tonight is Zimbabwe, where the central bank has sought to raise about $3.3 million at its first public auction of treasury bills in nearly 7 years. And changed treasury bills issuance under former President Robert Mugabe worsened Zimbabwe's economic plight. Between 2013 and last year, the state held private auctions for banks and insurance firms through a central bank overdraft facility. This breached the country's borrowing limit by pushing its domestic debt to more than $9 billion. But now, and a staff-monitored program with the IMF, the Southern African economy has promised to limit its reliance on the overdraft facility as it seeks to revamp its capital markets. In neighboring South Africa, unemployment rate is at its worst level in 16 years. It's now at 29%. According to the second quarter labor force survey released on Tuesday, unemployment rose a further 1.4% from the first quarter of this year. Sumitra Naidu has the details.
It came as a shock, but no real surprise. South Africa is bleeding jobs.
Some of the contributing factors to the unemployment figures that we've seen is because of the subdued economic environment that South Africa has found itself over the past 3 or so years, where we've seen a lot of companies that have been retrenching a lot of young people just to deal with cost and revenue and debt servicing challenges within their own firms.
21,000 jobs were created in the second quarter of the year, mainly in trade, manufacturing and construction. But 455,000 people were left jobless. Employment declined in the formal sector and in private households. Unemployment amongst young people entering the workforce was again the worst hit. With the rising debt, especially on ailing state-owned entities like Eskom, many are concerned that this picture is unlikely to change.
Youth unemployment being the critical challenge towards this unemployment problem, it becomes the most crucial task or the apex challenge for government. One of those, why it is so and why this is also interrelated to the question of SOEs is because at the crux of growing any economy, power is needed in order to be able to do that. So that's why the Eskom question becomes such a difficult and very complex one, and we continue to see these bailouts of this particular utility. It would be, in essence, say Eskom is too big to fail as a consequence of that, because the bedrock of our economy is dependent on that.
So